You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, we have got some new info from our inside source, and this new leak is very exciting. It's about the kidnapping of two leading ladies on the Peacock soap opera, Sarah Horton and Kristen DiMera. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and the question is, how did these ladies wind up together since they pretty much dislike each other, and the only thing they have in common is affection for little Rachel Black? We're going to dig into it, but first, please click that subscribe. Let's start with Sarah Horton, who is estranged from Xander, but still loves him deeply. And Sarah is also frustrated about the anxiety that Rachel is dealing with now because her mom is heading off to prison. And Sarah has been saying she regrets ever giving Rachel back to Kristen when she kidnapped her years ago. And at the same time, Xander's anger has been a deal breaker for Sarah, and she and Xander have been on the outs for months. They're legally separated, but that could change very soon, according to our leaker. So I've got leaks that relate to Sarah and to Kristen and them together and separately. So I'm going to go into all of this. So according to our leaker, things change between Xander and Sarah, but it happens in stages, not all at once. So right now, Sarah has been getting closer to Brady, who's upset about Rachel and about Tate's adoption drama. And Brady is crushing on Sarah, according to our leaker, and he's looking for excuses to spend time with her, especially once Kristen is in Statesville. And since Rachel adores Sarah, that's a good excuse for Brady to spend time with Sarah. And rumor has it, Brady's going to develop feelings for Sarah, who is not ready to move on from Xander. Not at all. Plus, Sarah's estranged hubby, Xander, is putting in the hours and he's doing the work on his anger management therapy. So Marlena has been helping him see things, including himself, in a new light. And to that end, Xander wants to be real brothers with Philip. So Xander is going to sign a document naming Philip co-CEO officially, even though the forgery that Vivian and Philip did still bothers Xander and rubs him the wrong way. And then, of course, we had Philip testing Xander by fake choking. But that's a sign that Philip can see that Xander's really trying. And that's important because, according to the leaker, Philip is going to talk to Sarah and let her know that her husband is making big changes in his life. And Philip is going to advocate for Sarah to give Xander another chance. But as I said, we've heard from the leaker, this moves forward in stages. And stage one is Xander forgives Sarah. Even though she's angry that Xander gave Philip that beatdown, it's actually Xander's anger at her that is proving harder to overcome as a couple. He's just so hurt that Sarah kept Philip's big forgery secret and lied to Xander's face. And as Sarah has pointed out, she's forgiven him far more, and that's true. But at the same time, I think Xander had higher expectations for Sarah, which isn't fair. It's not rational, but that's what Xander's doing. So this fall, Xander's doing his therapy. He's getting closer to Philip, and he's going to soften up. And then Xander will officially forgive Sarah for keeping Philip's lie hidden from him. That's stage one, but that's not them reconciling and their marriage immediately healing. Because if you don't remember, Xander was so upset that he actually pushed for the legal separation. He was ready for the custody battle. And then also from our leaker, we have heard that Philip is going to play a big role in Xander forgiving Sarah and then her forgiving Xander. So Philip's about to do a lot of legwork. And of course, while he has a role to play, and it's nice that he's being a good brother, I'm guessing that Xander's anger management sessions with Marlena are going to give him a better perspective on his marriage and where things went wrong, and he's going to be dealing with Sarah in a better way. And I get the impression from the leak that Xander and Sarah's marriage is going to be in better shape by the holidays this year, so they may be able to spend it together as a family with little Victoria. And if not, at least Xander and Sarah are going to be on better terms than they are right now as we head from fall into winter. This week, we saw Xander wrapping gifts for their daughter's second birthday. He even told Philip he'd be using the skills he learned in therapy to keep his temper kind of in check while he's at little Victoria's birthday party. And now let's flip over and let's talk about Kristen's part of the leak. So right now, she is headed to Statesville Prison for 6 years. She might have gotten half that, might have gotten 3, but Brady Black showed up and demanded that Kristen get the maximum, which of course was 10. So thankfully she didn't get that. I don't think the judge should have listened to Brady because he didn't have that much skin in the game. DA Bell Black and prior accused shooter Johnny DiMera and the shooting victim himself, EJ DiMera, all asked for lenience in Kristen's sentencing, and they were suggesting 3 years. But instead, the judge slapped her with 6. So the leaker says that Kristen is going to be broken out of prison in early 2026. And related to this, we have Sarah kidnapped. So the leaker went on to say that Kristen and Sarah wind up at the same place, trapped in a room together. So according to the leaker, Kristen doesn't just up and escape Statesville Prison. So the same guy who kidnaps Sarah is the man that gets Kristen out of prison. And by the fact that she's trapped with Sarah, it sounds like this is not an ally or a friend of hers. Maybe the kidnapper has a grudge against Kristen, and then Sarah is only taken as collateral damage because she's a doctor and maybe prison escapee Kristen needs medical attention, or it's somebody that may hate both Kristen and Sarah. But them being trapped together definitely sounds like this guy is looking for payback or a paycheck on, one or both of them. The leaker also said this happens early 2026, so there's plenty of time to build up to it. And I'd expect if Sarah and Xander aren't reconciled by then, her kidnapping would be a catalyst for them to completely repair their marriage, because Xander would face hell or high water to save Sarah, and that could get them right back on the fast track to wedded bliss. As for Kristen getting out of Statesville, obviously we knew they weren't going to leave her in prison for 6 years unless they were going to write out Stacey Hyduke from the show, but that's not what we've heard. So her angst with Rachel and Brady is front and center, and obviously she's going to remain on the canvas at least through the beginning of next year. We have heard that little Rachel may be off screen for a while, sent off to Bayview because she goes into a mental health spiral, and reportedly that's to facilitate Alice Halsey's exit. She plays Rachel. She needed time off from Days to film the Little House on the Prairie reboot. She has the leading role of Laura Ingalls. So there is a chance that Alice may have wrapped her run at Days. And if so, maybe we're going to get Rachel Black as a problematic teen who comes out of Bayview after a SORAS, a soap opera, rapid aging syndrome, age up. That would be kind of interesting if Rachel came out as a really scary teenager for them to deal with. And again, except for where I told you in this video, it's a spoiler, everything else was a leak. Info from a reliable leaker who sends us good stuff, but still a leak, not a confirmed spoiler. This is the same source, by the way, that told me that Rachel shot EJ way back in February. And of course, I shared that leak with you guys. So we've all known who done it for months if you're a regular listener. And the leaks are usually good, so I'm excited about these.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.